Look at this.
Sense modern flat earth theory did start off as a spoof. It was started by two quite stoned philosophy professors in America who I think kind of thought, what's the most ridiculous thing we can promote? And then we can kind of argue against it in a philosophical nature. But like all these things, 20% of people took it seriously and ran with it. So flat earth theory, the normal one, standard classic flat earth theory, if you like, it's a bit like the Truman Show. The earth is a flat, round, a flat sort of coin shape. It's got either an ice wall or an ice waterfall. They can't quite work out.
What? An ice waterfall? Now, I'm not a flat earther. I don't use those words because they are loaded to the hilt with nonsense like you've just highlighted there. Ice waterfall? That would look amazing, by the way. But no, I'm not aware anyone's making that claim. I'm only speaking for myself and the experience interactions I've had with others. But the people I communicate with really kind of stand by the behavior of water. And to have an ice waterfall, I think you're getting at an edge. Is that what you're getting at? I, I presume you're getting at based on the propaganda I've seen. That's kind of silly, mate. And again, highlights why I don't entertain the words flat earth, because they are loaded to the hilt with nonsensical tosh, like Matey Boy here has just spewed.
Which Australia doesn't exist. All Australians you've met are holograms. That's the sort of normal.
Again, I'm not aware of that whatsoever. Australians are holograms? Two very well known propagandists come from Australia. I've got family in Perth. I'm not aware anyone's ever made that claim regarding Australia. Again, ludicrous, ridiculous attachments to the words flat earth. And the gullible general public can't discern and work this out and will go along with it. Now, Matey Boy here, I believe, used to be a comedian. So he's obviously, I'm guessing, he's hamming it up a bit for entertainment value. But he's totally misrepresenting, just like Google does. When you type in flat earth into the search engine, you get all sorts of nonsensical, silly stuff come up. That most people, well, that no one I know makes those claims. It's just propaganda. And yet the globe fantasists run away with that. They have to. Because they haven't got any science to cite, so they can just point at something and go, ha ha, and think they've had a result they've proven their globe by pointing at laughing at something that no one believes in the first place. We are at that stage now where it is literally ridiculous to entertain these people. All they can do is lie and misrepresent. I could make hundreds of videos daily about liars, misrepresenters, space fails, propagandists. It's just too obvious. Where's the science for the globe side, lads? Doesn't exist. When's the penny gonna drop?
Theory. I was interested in a splinter group.
Yes, I gather there's sort of the people's
It's exactly that. So my splinter group was the Square Flat Earth Society. They believe the Earth is flat but square, and of course, if the Earth is square and flat, it has four corners, and that's where the expression "four corners of the Earth" supposedly comes from. And the four corners of the square flat Earth, according to the Square Flat Earth people, are randomly the island of Hydra in Greece, Papua New Guinea, the Bermuda Triangle, and an island called Fogo off Newfoundland. And so that's where I went. I found a square flat earther in Newfoundland.
And you rode to the edge of the world with him?
Well, we did a road trip all the way.
Listen to this nonsense. They rode to the edge of the world, yet no one believes there's an edge. I don't know about this square earth theory. I've never heard of that. So this sounds like more tosh propaganda. Matey Boy riding to the edge with his square earther. I mean, come on. Come on.
Across Newfoundland and then to
And Matey Boy here is a great example of how gullible the general public are.
Onto the island of Fogo, and then you get to the edge where it's a thing called Brimstone Head. You climb this cliff, you're supposed to look over. And, not much spoilers here. We looked over and we couldn't see a drop. He was very disappointed. And then he hired a boat, a very reluctant...
I mean, listen to how ridiculous this is. A guy who claims there's a square earth with an edge. There's a square earth society. I've never heard of any of this. This has got to be a wind-up.
Newfoundland fishing captain. We got on the boat with him and there was a storm coming. He didn't want to go out. Long story short, we went out. He said we have to go back in, and the guy just lost his marbles. He claimed that both me and the boat captain were being paid by George Soros, and it was fantastic.
But Catherine,
Sorry, mate, I just don't believe you. If that even did happen, whoever this square earther is who was looking for the edge was at it and purely there to give you material. And the gullible individuals like this fella and you, if that's actually what happened, for believing this tosh. Wow. Of course, these are prime examples of how the general public behave in everyday life when dealing with this subject. Biases put in place by the education system and the mainstream hold you back. Remove the bias. You will be able to see a bit clearer, guys. Then demand practical references. And it becomes obvious the globe's ridiculous. I make no claims that I can't back myself, that can't be tested and verified by all. I've highlighted, if you want a map, you'd have to pay me 5 years worth of wages to take 5 years off. You'd have to pay the wages of a team of cartographers, pilots and sailors, and hire in a whole load of tech to give you a map. And of course, the red tape involved with the politics as well. So just going, I'll provide a map. Stop asking me ridiculous things when I'm citing science that can be tested and verified by reality, and that highlights the globe is ridiculous. If you want more, it's full exploration. We can't keep going around in circles here with this ridiculous propaganda mainstream media machine lying and misrepresenting at every single turn, loading the words flat earth with these lies and misrepresentations, and then having to entertain a gullible general public who actually believe and try and attach these ridiculous things to you. And then people wonder why I won't entertain those loaded words anymore. No. Fucking ice waterfalls. Australia doesn't exist. The Australians are holograms. Holographic even. Wow. This is how desperate the mainstream is now. This is how ridiculous it's got. All you need to do is ask for practical references that can be tested and verified by all. So all you need to claim is stand by those tests that can be verified by all. That destroys the globe and the narrative at play. It's very simple. You've got to keep it simple because the general public are a little bit simple. Sorry, guys. I know a lot of globies watch this. What are you thinking? How are you living with yourself, justifying the ridiculous misrepresentations that you guys have to cite? The propaganda, the ridiculous videos that get made. What are you thinking, guys? You're part of something without even realizing it. It is quite dark and nasty. You're going to point the stick at me and go, oh, you're just projecting. I'm not. I'm simply standing by things we can verify for ourselves. The behavior of large standing bodies of water, tower cranes and pendulums, air pressure systems residing next to a vacuum, all in a practical sense. That's all. If you can't see it, or you're still bewildered by it, and I've spelled it out so many times, then that's quite scary. That means you cannot comprehend the simple truth. You cannot comprehend the word of a man who sticks to simplistic truths. I probably trigger you because I bash space so much. Originally, that was the whole point of this channel. I had no idea how affected, how triggered, how upset some of these space fans would actually get with me. I had no idea. But of course, you're crushing fantasies and delusions. Naturally, there's going to be knee-jerk reactions. I didn't realise how bad those knee-jerk reactions would be. But at the time, I didn't realise in a lot of cases, I'd be dealing with middle-aged men that play with children's toys that want to tell us reality is exactly the opposite to what can be tested and verified by all. The penny just didn't drop regarding that. When is this silly pantomime going to end? YouTube is just up like that, a pantomime. Just a silly stage. One to basically push propaganda and to, one, suppress people like myself. But I cannot believe, well, I can, because the lies and misrepresentations have bewildered the general public. That's why this has gone on so long. As time goes on, people reveal themselves. Flat earthers and globers. There's a lot of wrong uns in this scene, shall we say. Not that I class demonstrable reality as a scene, but when discussing this earth that we find ourselves, I prefer to use the word realm. Because it is a realm. And I would love to explore it and have a look about. Trust me. Since the 70s, I've always had that adventure in my heart. But we're restricted. All they want you to do is go on holidays at certain resorts. Doesn't interest me. Always wanted to walk off the beaten track and go explore, go have a look, go have a walkabout. Always did. The one thing that I think you shouldn't fear is the not knowing. I don't know where we are. Does that scare me? No, that excites me. Does the fact the globe is scientifically impossible, does that scare me? No, that excites me. I'll tell you what scares me is the fact that people still believe the propaganda, the liars, the misrepresenters, and cite no practicality whatsoever, and expect people who stand by science that can be tested and verified by all, expect them to give that up. That's what scares me. How bewildered, brainwashed those people are. Okay, now I'm going on here. How long's this? Long enough. But the point is, the propaganda is literally going off the charts now. Obviously, it has to lie and misrepresent, because if you simply stood by things that can be verified by all, this would have been over ages ago. Truly would have been. I'm out of it. Have a good one, everyone.